I love my ROG Ally. It is one of my favorite handhelds. It's nice and thin, it's quiet, overall very comfortable design, incredible performance, and best all, it's very cheap in comparison to when it first launched. You can get a new one, open box, but still in like new condition, for like $350 if you can get it at the right time. Especially if there's some sales going on, which I suspect they'll be becoming more frequent, so they clear out all the old stock for the ROG Ally X. So I would anticipate those becoming more frequently and more, excessive as the months go on. But what bothered me the most is that there aren't very many differences separating the two devices. The ROG Ally and the ROG Ally X is very similar, different in ways that to the average consumer might not matter all that much, especially if you're on a tight budget. You might think it is more practical to buy the older model. So this video, I'll be comparing the two, giving you all the information that I have and we have at the time, and to help you decide whether or not it could be worth the upgrade or better for you to buy the old model over the previous model. The original Ally has a Z1 Extreme and a Z1 Non-Extreme equipped version. It has a 7-inch VRR 120Hz 1080p display. It's beautiful, but it's not compared to some OLED displays, but it's good enough display. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM. It is noticeably thinner than something like the Steam Deck, so weight-wise, it's pretty decent, and it's incredibly powerful. Though it does have some problems. Overheating has been a documented issue known for these devices, and the microSD card constant failures have been prevalent for this device. And for my specific unit, I've noticed a kink develop in the left analog stick. I've seen this happen before to other people, but it's not too big of a deal for me, and I will eventually replace it myself. But at the moment, it's not something I want to do really. And so just to keep you informed that it is something that I've experienced and others have before, but I don't think this is quite as common as some of the other issues. The original Ally also comes in only white, if that matters to you. It also comes with 512 gigabytes of SSD storage, and it limits you to the original 2230 size SSDs, the same ones used by the Steam Deck. Moving on to the Ally X, it uses the same exact AMD Z1 Extreme processor, the same 1080p 120Hz VRR display, but it has some minor changes under the hood. It now has 24 gigabytes of RAM, allotting 8 gigs dedicated to the graphics, which might be helpful in some games, but overall, your biggest, bottleneck when it comes to gaming performance isn't usually RAM or RAM speed. It usually is just a lack of either wattage or just the overall lack of grunt of power that this SoC has. It's not because it's a weak or it's garbage tech. It's just an APU. It's integrated graphics on a laptop processor. It is impressive that it can do what it does already, and to expect much more out of it by giving it more RAM will help, but not as much as you're probably expecting. You will see improvements in terms of performance for RAM-dependent games, but that won't be the bottleneck you'll be experiencing most of the time when you're playing other games. Another upside to the new Ally X, it comes with 1 terabyte of storage as standard, and that 1 terabyte SSD is now in a full 2280 sized form factor, so you can use full-sized SSDs in this thing, double layered, so that's pretty cool. It has a moved microSD slot, so it will not suffer from the same failures that the previous model had. So overall, that's pretty cool in terms of the internal changes. Some of the things against the new Ally X, it is more expensive at $800, which absolutely sucks. It is slightly larger and heavier to accommodate better cooling and the new board arrangement to allow for larger components overall, and it only comes in black if that matters to you. The last thing I forgot to mention that comes with the new ROG Ally X is it has double the battery life, which for some people would be amazing. You can see upwards to 2 or 3 hours gameplay on this thing. But like I mentioned, you will have to pay for that privilege. Now that we've run through the benefits and the downsides of these two devices, what would I recommend you do? Well, for owners of the original ROG Ally, I don't see much of a reason to upgrade. You will see nominal performance increases, somewhere between 5 to 8% depending on the game. It's super dependent on the game, especially for games that are RAM dependent. So broadly speaking, you probably won't notice much of a difference. Display-wise, it's not any fun versions. It's not OLED. It's not a higher resolution. It's not larger, so it won't be appreciably different at all for those of you who want a better overall gameplay experience. So you won't be able to enjoy inkier blacks like the Steam Deck OLED offers, and it's not a larger, higher resolution panel like the Lenovo Legion Go offers. Major benefit though, it does have a larger battery. That's awesome! People's largest complaint for the Ally is its battery life, but for those of you who already own one, I don't see that being a big seller for you because of all the other things being very similar. And for people on a budget, you're looking for the best bang for your buck, and $800 can get you a lot in other ways. You can save a lot of money by buying a used ROG Ally or an open box model. Like I said, you can get one of those for $350. That's a savings of $450, depending on sales and availability in your area. But still, even saving $200, $300 would be better than spending all of that on the ROG Ally X. Don't get me wrong, what the ROG Ally X is in a vacuum is amazing, but thinking of it in the grand scale of all potential options, it might not be the best value right now. Smartest thing you could do is, if you can wait a while, pick up an ROG Ally X when that inevitably goes on sale, or pick up an open box model in a few months when that happens. The original Ally so quickly went on sale, discounts, promos, and open box models started showing up mere months after that came out, being incredibly good deals. Very soon, like a couple months after launch for the original Ally, I was seeing people picking them up at Best Buy for around $450 for a used or open box model. It didn't take long for that value to really start to show up. And what I'm saying is, if you need one right now, your best choice is probably going to be an original Ally. Yes, it comes with its downsides, and there will be some hardware problems that you might have to overcome. But in terms of overall, best value, best bang for your buck, the original Ally is really tough to beat. Even the Steam Deck in comparison is kind of a hard sell if you don't like Linux. The original Ally though does have its problems. A constantly failing microSD card slot due to bad board design is probably the thing that comes to mind most frequently. All that being said, that doesn't mean the Ally X isn't meant for anybody. People who are new to the space and want to spend on a nicer premium experience. The Ally X is going to be one of the best out there. But for the value seekers, the average person who's just getting back into gaming, or the value-minded budget gaming seeker, the Ally X is rather confusing of a product. It's so similar in most important ways that it doesn't make a lot of sense for people who are looking for the best value. It doesn't make a lot of sense for people to upgrade to if they already own an Ally or any of the other Z1 Extreme equipped devices out there. And if you really wanted the best performance or a better overall experience, get the Legion Go, which I've also seen go on sale quite frequently to being around $500 to $650. To me, the only real benefit the Ally X offers is the double the size of the battery. That is really important to some people. And if what you care about is endurance the most, sure, the Ally X would be perfect for that. It has an 80 watt-hour battery, truly massive. It has the potential to allow you to play games like Elden Ring for like 2 to 3 hours at the 10 watt setting. Truly impressive numbers. But for me, battery life isn't the only thing I care about. Price and overall performance is what I care about most, and the ROG Ally X doesn't really offer or change all that much over the pre-existing Ally. Now that we've reached the conclusion of this video, what are my actual recommendations? Well, if you're on a budget or if you're looking for just the best value and you don't really care about all other outside factors, the original Ally is hard to beat. That is an amazing value. But those of you out there who want a truly next level experience or a better overall experience over the original Ally, I would say just get the Lenovo Legion Go. It offers way more features in terms of variety of how you can play. It offers better battery life than the original Ally, and it has things like Thunderbolt 4, which allows you to use things like external graphics cards and docking setups and whatnot, versus the Ally's locked to having the XG mobile port that has now been deprecated by Asus themselves, and the only way to get a Thunderbolt 4 port is on the Ally X, which is nice, but it is $800, and I'm not paying $800 just for the purpose of a Thunderbolt 4 port. So what do you guys think? Are you interested in the Ally X? Did this video help you understand what you wanted out of your next handheld? I would love to hear what you guys think down below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the other social media garbage down below, and last but not least, have a wonderful day.